It's that time again. I haven't done a weather report because it's Sunday afternoon. Where are we? It's 2:45 Sunday afternoon. Now you're listening, as I speak, probably to the Sunday episode, the hour-long episode. Why, you're asking yourself, or you're probably not asking yourself, you don't care, do you? The reason is, tomorrow, Monday, we are going to Hampshire. We're having a couple of nights away just for a break. Last night, which was Saturday night, we went to our club. We hired the room upstairs for the evening. We had a big family gathering, all the family there and a few close friends, just for our wedding anniversary, just a bit of a celebration, which was very good. So, of course, I'm not going to be here Tuesday to record Wednesday's Midweek Message. You don't know all this, do you? Anyway, that's why I'm recording Wednesday's message on Sunday instead of normally doing it on a Tuesday as I would do. So what's happening? How are you? Rants at protonmail.com. Hope you're well. Looking forward to going to Hampshire. We're staying in a town called Alton. There are a few things around there we've had a look at. We were going to go on the Watercress line. That's a steam railway similar to the Bluebell Railway, which isn't too far from us. That's the one we normally go to. But unfortunately, on Monday and Tuesdays, it's closed. Now we're coming back Wednesday, so that's a bit of a disappointment. Not to worry, plenty of other things to do. It's just a break, isn't it? Just a bit of a getaway. Oh, there is one thing I must tell you. Do you remember on Sunday? This is confusing because it's Sunday now. Last Sunday on the episode, I mentioned presents, vouchers and things. I mentioned Marks and Spencer's voucher. And how people don't really want vouchers because you've got to go to Marks and Spencer's or you've got to go to a garden centre or wherever. We had a Marks and Spencer's voucher as a present for our wedding anniversary. Now, there's me knocking it, saying, oh, that's dreadful having vouchers. And we've actually been given one. But here's the thing. I need some decent jeans. In the old days, you could go around local shops. There were men's boutiques. Our local one, there was Squires, for example. Squires for the ladies. What was it, the ladies ones? I forget what they were called. Loads of ladies, girls' boutiques and boutiques for lads. And you could buy a decent pair of jeans or trousers, hipsters, flared. They had just about every style you could imagine. These days, I can't get a pair of jeans. There's just nothing that fits properly. They look awful. I don't know why. They're all made in China, I suppose, with all due respect to the Chinese. But you can't make jeans out there in China. So the Marks and Spencer's voucher is really useful because Treasure reckons... Anyway, I'm not going to go on about that. When I do get a pair of jeans, I shall let you know. I'll have to put a photo of me wearing them on raysrants.info. Oh, thanks, you're saying. I really look forward to that. Excellent. No, seriously. It is a real coincidence that there's me saying people don't want Marks and Spencer's vouchers and then I get one. But really good. We've got a load of presents. The amount of cards we've got, incredible. Talking of the old days, the 60s, I remember going up to Carnaby Street. Oh, bliss. You could buy anything. If you wanted a dress like Jimi Hendrix, you know, in his sort of weird jackets, lovely jackets with all this gold embroidery and stuff. You could buy them. They're up there. Jeans, trousers, flares, you name it. Carnaby Street. Wonderful in the 1960s. Not only Carnaby Street. There were other places. The Mile End Road. Loads of shops. All different things you could buy. Not only clothes, radio shops, army surplus stuff, radio equipment and that. Just amazing the amount. I don't know whether they've still got all these shops in London. Is Carnaby Street still going? I've no idea. I don't go to London anymore. I'm never going to London again. I can't stand the place now. It used to be wonderful in the 60s. I used to look forward to it. I drive up there. Many a weekend I was up there in my car. A couple of lads at the back, you know, we'd go up there and we'd have some fun, but not anymore. I'd never really liked Brighton. Brighton in the 60s, I've told you about the Bird's Nest Club, haven't I? I have. But just briefly for newcomers, or if you don't remember that one, there was this sort of pub come club. It was really good. And there's a telephone on each table. And of course, you're sitting, just briefly, you're sitting at the table and your phone would ring and it'd be some girl, you don't know who. Someone had phoned you, you're looking around the other tables, you answer the phone and there's some girl saying, I fancy you. You don't know who it is. And of course at our table, a couple of mates and myself, we'd phone them, we'd say, look, table number 9 over there, dial number 9, they're not on the phone. You dial 9, the girl answers, And you could say, well, you're all right. It was great fun. Honestly, it was so popular. I've told you all about the Bird's Nest Club before, so I won't go on about that. Did spark up one or two relationships there, actually, because of the phone system. In the end, you'd say, well, look, I'm at table 4. And they'd look over. Oh, yeah. Can I come and join you? Oh, yeah, fine. Happy days. I don't go to Brighton anymore. Well, I don't go anywhere. Don't go to my hometown shops. Brighton has changed. It really has. It's not like it used to be. I don't know. What's the difference you're thinking between then and now? In the 60s, it was, well, the swinging 60s. It was great. The clubs were great. The music was great. The pubs were brilliant. The girls, the lads, everything was brilliant. Apart from the mods and rockers, they used to meet there, didn't they, and have punch-ups. I didn't do that. I wasn't involved in that at all. I was a hippie. I was not a mod. I was not a rocker. I was a hippie. Even in some of the smaller towns, they weren't much more than villages, they had a nightclub. There was a nightclub in a village not far from me. Look it up on the map, Lancing. Lancing. People called it a village, Lancing Village. It's not really a town. It is that small. But they had a nightclub there. It had various names. It was Key. No, was it Key? The Golden Key Club. Do you know, I can't remember. It was either Keys or the Golden Key Club. That was good. Over there in Lancing. There were little clubs everywhere. There were sort of clubs down in cellars and things, even in my hometown, down in cellars, like you hear in London and where the Beatles were in their cellar type club. It was fantastic. I think they've all gone. I was going to look into, who was it mentioned to me? Several people about the Viking coffee bar, which was in a cellar, down the steps in a cellar. I was going to have a look. I must make a note of that because people are saying, well, what is that now? Do you remember you all emailed me? Well, not all of you, some of you did. And you messaged me and said, well, what is it now? The buildings are still there above, so presumably the basement, the cellar is still there. I don't know. I'll ask Tricia to have a look. That saves me going down the town. Can't stand the place down there. Dreadful place. Don't like towns, don't like anywhere. Mind you, I'm going to Alton in Hampshire, but that's different. That's a different town. And it's only a base. The hotel will be travelling out. We won't be staying in the town. We will travel out to various places around the sort of surrounding countryside. I overheard someone talking about trains the other day and how, I think I mentioned this before anyway, you know the time differences, the time in London on the London local clocks, Big Ben for example, the Elizabeth Tower, that clock would be a completely different time than one down in, say, Dover or Land's End or Liverpool, because there wasn't wireless, there wasn't television, no radio. No one knew what time they got their clock set to in Liverpool when I'm down here on the coast. So the time was all over the place. And then the railway brought all that together and you had the sort of railway time. But someone else, though, mentioned about railways, what it did, apart from tell everyone what the time was, what it did, it moved people from A to B. People started moving about. I don't know, looking back, was that a good thing? People grew up in their home village, their hometown. They were fishermen, they were seamstresses and whatever they did, bakers and cooks and stuff. They did all their thing in their hometown or village, and they sold their wares locally. They worked on their local farm and the produce was sold locally, or as far away as a horse and cart could take it, for example. Then the railway came along and you could buy something made in Devon. You can buy it in Scotland the next day or a couple of days later. In London, you could buy fresh milk that came from a farm in, say, Cornwall. And it's the same day. It came out of the cow. It's the same day. Into the milk churn, on the train, up to London. It's for sale, fresh milk, that day from the cow. This conversation I overheard, they were saying about moving people from A to B. That's when people started uprooting themselves. Oh, let's go and live here. Let's go and live there. Let's go and live in London. Let's go and live in the countryside. And people started moving around. I wonder whether that's a good thing. I don't want to move around. I like it where I am. But what do you think about that? Would we have been better without the train? Mind you, without the trains, we'd have had something else. We would have had cars, wouldn't we? We've got aeroplanes. Of course, now we're moving all around the world. In the old days, you didn't leave your village. You married someone from the village. You had your kids. They married people from the village, had their kids, no one left the village. Then people started travelling to other villages and towns. Now they travel around the world. I don't know how things have changed. Anyway, I've waffled enough. Yes, sorry there's no weather report. I can tell you what the weather's doing now, Sunday afternoon. Oh, a bit dull, a bit miserable. Wind from the west, flag's not doing much, just blowing around a bit. Not much happening out there. Just a bit sort of autumnal and boring, to be honest, nothing happening. Not too cold though. I can tell you one thing, it was 20 degrees under our patio roof out there this morning at about, 9 o'clock, 20 degrees. So that's not too bad, is it? Take care, look after yourselves. I shall tell you all about Hampshire, our trip to Hampshire next Sunday. Oh no, you're saying, no, please don't, please. Look after yourselves. Be good. If you're bad, don't get caught. Thanks for listening as always. Lovely talking to you. Bye-bye for now.